What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and I'm here. Mano's out the whip, so my producer Dan is rocking with us today.
What's up,
what an important day today is. The VMAs were on last night. Big Bank did his interview with Young Thug, 3 hours long. I watched so far about half of it, but I've also seen all of the clips that have been circulating online. So, of course, we are going to discuss that because more of these calls from jail were being leaked. He does explain in this interview what happened and why this is happening. So we'll get into all of that because I think that was a concern. Like, who is leaking these calls? And I feel like some people are feeling a little bad that we're like peeking into these private conversations. One thing everybody's saying is, imagine if somebody leaked all of our private phone conversations. What would that be like? But on the flip side, when you're in jail, you know everything's being recorded. You just don't think everything's going to end up being public. All right. Also today, we have Sharesa Jackson joining us. There's a series out on Netflix called Love, Con, and Revenge. It came out on Friday, and she is featured on there regarding her husband that allegedly, as I have to say repeatedly, her husband who allegedly fraudulently stole money from her. So
$2 million, almost $2 million.
Up to $2 million. 1.4 she can account for, but when she sat down and did the numbers, it was about $2 million. All right, well, let's start the show with some love and some positivity. Let's shine a light. 800-292-5150. Call us up. Let us know who you want to shine a light on. It's Way Up.
I'ma shine.
Turn your lights on, y'all.
Turn your lights on.
Spreading love to those who are doing greatness.
Shine a light on them. Shine a light on them.
It's time to shine a light on them.
Yo, it's Way Up with Angela Yee, and it's time to shine a light. And I was in Detroit yesterday just for today. And today I want to shine a light on Dr. Daniel Baxter from Detroit. He was actually given an award yesterday from family members of Dr. Ashian Sweet. And I went out there to talk about the history of this house that has been preserved. He actually grew up in this house. He's not related to the family, but found out about what took place at this house when he was only 10 years old. So you'll hear more about that. But long story short, Dr. Ashian Sweet was a physician, and he was based in Detroit. Bought this house in 1925, where there were no black people living. It was all white people in this neighborhood. And an angry mob came to the house when he had just moved in and was threatening the family, throwing stones through the window, breaking windows. He had his family in there. Somebody from inside the house shot and ended up killing one of the protesters, one of the angry mob people who were outside, and they ended up having to go to trial, and they actually won, even with a jury of 12 white men, and they were protecting their home. So that is the story, but Dr. Baxter has been making sure that he preserves that legacy and making sure that people know about it. Now, Olivia, who do you want to shine a light on?
Honestly, I want to shine a light on myself. This time last year, I was homeless. I had absolutely nothing. I restarted my life. I just now wrote a book. I'm also now a manager at a recruiting staffing agency. And I just landed a new gig on a new station. I used to do radio in Chicago.
What?
I moved here to Nashville to start my life over. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, Olivia, this is amazing.
Yeah, thank you. And you know what? I got to tell you that I adore you. I listen to you. Like, you're one of my radio gods. Like, I started doing radio because of you. So.
That means so much to me. I am so impressed by your story. I want to read your book. What's it called?
It's called When Silence Screams. The website is whensilencescreams.com. You can get it on there.
Olivia, you definitely deserve to have a light shined on you. I cannot wait to read about your story. Imagine that, homeless last year and now this year, heading up a recruiting agency, starting a new radio gig. That's amazing. I love it.
Thank you so much. And thank you for being you. I really appreciate you. Thank you for opening up the door.
All right. Well, thank you, Olivia. I hope to meet you soon.
Oh, I hope to meet you.
All right,
Have a good day.
You too. That was Shine a Light, 800-292-5150. In case you couldn't get through, you can always leave a message and shine a light that way. And when we come back, we have our Yee Tea. Y'all, we got to talk about this Young Thug interview. He sat down and talked to Big Bank, and we'll tell you some of the things that he had to say. It's a lot, guys, so we'll get it started. All right, it's Way Up.
They say it's truth in the rumors.
From industry shade to all the gossip, Angela's spilling that Yee tea.
All right, it's Way Up with Angela Yee, and it's time for your Yee Tea. Dan is here, my producer. He's here every day. He's just not always on the mic.
That's true.
A huge Young Thug fan too, by the way, right?
Yeah.
And I want to well, before we get into this, because he did do an interview with Big Bank, and of course some more of his calls from jail have leaked, and we found out why and how they leaked, because I know that was one of the main questions. Are you thinking or looking at him any different? Do you think this is going to affect anything?
I just think it's a shame that it came out the way it did, because you never hear of these jail calls being leaked ever. So I feel like all these public opinions that are being made against him, it's like using like illegally found evidence in a court case.
Except it's not illegal.
No, I know, but I'm saying like using this against him in your public opinion, I feel is like the equivalence of using illegally found evidence in a court case. Yeah,
and we also would not have anticipated that Young Thug was, they were calling him what, Lady Whistledown from Bridgerton.
Do you look at him differently?
I mean, I think it's unfortunate for him. I never looked at him any particular. I just know you're a huge fan.
Yeah.
And so it's weird because we don't look at guys that talk like my boyfriend doesn't talk like that. If you ask him a question, he don't even really gossip. And Young Thug said he's never in his life gossiped. It was only once he got to jail. But anyway, the other thing, and I said this last week that this was going to happen. There were going to be calls leaking with other women. And him discussing even his relationship with Mariah, because somebody is strategically putting these out. Mm-hmm. And here is one of those calls that leaked where he's talking to another woman.
When you plan on having kids?
When you come home, I have kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love you.
Love you more.
Now, he posted after this, my baby, I was wrong and I'm sorry for what I put you through. You deserve better from me. Thank you for everything and I will do anything to make this work. You showed me what love is and I hope I haven't lost you forever. Everybody leave her out of this, please. She's an innocent girl and feels bad about all of this. Please give her peace. And then Mariah in her stories posted one of her own songs, and she did it like a post and delete, by the way. Tell me love and hatred doesn't coexist. Shirley, I replied, that's what resentment is. I was naive, not ignorant. So much for my innocence now. Love me, leave me, let me down. And he posted, chapter ended with a heart. But we don't know what chapter ended means. We don't know if that means there's a breakup. We don't know if there's a chapter in his life that he's like, I'm not talking about this anymore. Who knows what he meant by chapter ended.
But the internet is alluding.
Yes, that was a breakup. People believe that it is a breakup. Now, Young Thug then did an interview that came out with Big Bank, and part of that interview, Perspectives with Bank, he talks about these leaked jail calls, and here's what he said.
I ain't never been to talk about nobody else in my life. These last few days, I've been sitting around like, what the was I thinking? I think I was just so up, and I just felt like it was just over. Like, I'm just sitting in jail 24 hours. Like, at this point, I'm just like, man, I don't give a life. It ain't what I'm thinking it is. Like, I'm just talking. At this point, I'm just talking.
Right. And so, we'll talk more about this because I feel like this is what we're going to be talking about today. I mean, I get it. Like, we all sit around and kick it. I was telling Mano, I wish he was here to talk about this today. Mano loves to gossip with whoever he's dating. And so some guys do that. You don't think anyone's ever going to hear it. You say things, sometimes it's not true, but he also did say in this interview that everything he said to the people he was talking about.
Right.
He did say that as well. Right. And so, I don't know, but we have some more to talk about when it comes to this. But in the meantime, when we come back, we have About Last Night. That's where we discuss what we did last night. This is for everyone to hear. Okay? It's way up.
So, About Last Night. Here's how it went down.
It's way up with Angela Yee, and it is time for About Last Night. My producer Dan's not normally on the mic, but today he is.
What's up, Ange?
Hey, PD, producer Dan. So over the weekend, I had a very, very active weekend, as you know. First, I drove upstate. I actually have an Airbnb in the Catskills in Roxbury, and I never really get a chance to go there. When I bought this Airbnb, and I posted it on my Instagram page with my broker Sarah, we went in on it together. We went in it with the intention of we're going to make some money off of this, but we're also going to use it. And you've been there, Dan, so it's an amazing Airbnb.
It is beautiful.
We've got great management of it, and so we drove up there. I haven't been there in like a year. And I really realized I need to slow it down a little bit, take some time, because I'm never here on the weekend. So I literally drove up there. It's like a 3-hour drive from the city.
It's in the mountains.
It's in the mountains. And it's on 10 acres. Spent some time there. And then I came back the next day on Saturday. I drove back, got home Saturday night, and then caught a flight to Detroit Sunday morning, and then came back Sunday night. So, what?
Too much.
Did a whole lot, but that was my weekend. And then in addition to that, I was trying to make sure that I'm prepped for everything that we have going on this week. We got lip service episodes to tape. We're up here doing the show. I got to make sure I'm staying on top of these Young Thug conversations and phone call leaks, and then his 3-hour interview with Big Bank. And I was saying I think Big Bank did a great job talking to Young Thug, just because there's a lot of street codes I realize I don't know. And I'm listening to this conversation. I was like, this is too much. Like, he took a plea deal because of this, but then this person took a plea deal, but this is why this one's okay and this one's not. But then how do we all look at it as a collective? And then who's a rat, who's not a rat, who's snitching, who's telling? It was just a lot. But one thing I got from the interview is he did talk a lot about what a young Thug was like and how is he the person who he became today. And so I think that's always important to put things into perspective, is how people were raised, how they were brought up, in their early life, and how did that shape their perspectives right now. So it's a good watch. I got to finish the whole thing. But when we come back, you know what time it is. We've heard a lot of secrets. Now let's hear yours. 800-292-5150. Call us up and tell us a secret. Again, that's 800-292-5150. Anything you want to say, we are not going to judge you. You are anonymous. When I say we, I mean in the studio. But as far as like the general public, I have no control over that. But 800-292-5150. Call us up. Tell us your secret. We've been listening to everybody else's secrets. We've been listening to leaked phone calls. Now let's hear yours. That's 800-292-5150. Call us up.
Way up. Shh. This is a judgment-free zone. Tell us a secret.
All right. It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and happy Monday. And I know y'all got some secrets from over the weekend that you want to tell. No judgment, and you're anonymous. What's up, anonymous caller? Tell us your secret.
So basically, my girl sleep, I dig in my and then I put it on her nose so she can stop snoring.
Wait, you dig in your put it on your girlfriend's nose, and that makes her stop snoring?
Yeah.
What type of remedy is that?
I don't know. It just seemed to work one time, and I've just been going back to it ever since.
What was in your
It's just the smell, because, I don't know, it just stinks time to time. So
your butt should not stink, sir, especially not in the bed. I think you need to do a better job, no?
I don't know. I'm a man, basically.
I'm going to get you some wipes. I don't understand that. You don't shower before you get in bed. This is the worst part of it to me. Why does your butt stink?
Well, I don't know why.
You need to work on that. I'm just trying to help you with your hygiene. And then you put it on her nose. What if you go to give her a kiss? Now you got your butt smell on your nose too. You don't think about that?
Have you ever been laying in the bed by yourself and smelled your ass?
No, I have not. But no judgment on you.
Okay, as long as y'all don't judge me. Well, all right, thank you for taking our call.
No problem. Now he's got to go. Thank you. That didn't go the way he thought it would. Hey, anonymous caller, how are you?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
Good, thank you. Do you want to tell me a secret?
Long story short, my baby father cheated on me my whole pregnancy. It was this one guy, like my first love, basically. I knew him for 13 years. He didn't like him or whatever. As soon as I dropped the baby, I went and him, went home back to my baby father, and let him eat.
Oh my God. And then you stayed with your baby father after that?
Of course not. I just want to get my lip back.
Wow. Okay, so you knew you was leaving him. And then what about your ex? Your first love, what happened with that?
We ended up getting in a relationship,
I knew
and
it.
Unfortunately, he passed away the next year.
Oh God, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's fine. I know he laughing right now. So
wow.
We made a video, and I made a video of the baby father too. So anytime he be acting funny, I could be like, "Well, you wasn't acting funny when you."
Oh my God. I know he would want to. Okay. Well, anyway, that was diabolical. But for you guys, don't cheat on your pregnant girlfriend. I guess that's the moral of the story here.
Yep, don't cheat on us. I get back a month.
Oh my God. All right. Thank you for calling. All right. Well, that was Tell Us a Secret, 800-292-5150. Just in case you couldn't get through, you could always leave a message and tell us a secret, and we'll play it during Last Word. When we come back, we got your Yeetie, Damon Dash versus Cameron. Boy, when you can become, what do they say? Your best friends can become your worst enemies. They were so tight at one point. We'll tell you about their most recent back and forth. It's Way Up.
Yo, she about to blow the lid up off this pot. Let's get it. Oh, yeah. Angela's spilling that Yee tea.
Come and get the tea.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and it is time for your Yee Tea. Now, while we've been watching all of this happen and transpire with Young Thug over the weekend, another argument that's been having some back and forth for a little bit of time now is Cameron versus Damon Dash. Now, Damon Dash is upset at Cameron even more now. He says that Cameron is trying to interview his son Boogie, and we all know that Dame Dash's son and daughter were on Growing Up Hip Hop, and Damon Dash was arguing with Boogie quite a bit. But here is Damon Dash calling out Cameron for trying to do this interview with his son.
I get a call from my son Boogie, like, guess what? Cam just called me, sent me some money so I could go on an interview. Cam, this is a whole new level of low. To try to divide a family and take advantage, manipulate my child, all because you're too scared to have a direct conversation with me about the things you said about me. I'm just disgusted.
Wow. That is wild. And his son called him and told him. And I will say, I think that even though Damon Dash and his son can argue, and they've been on the show arguing, that doesn't mean that they're not still, you know, father and son, and still very, like, connected like that. So here is that argument that happened on one of many on Growing Up Hip Hop.
Wait a minute, Boogie, Boogie, I don't want you to get out of there. Boogie, wait.
You're so sensitive. You're such a little girl about everything.
No, you're gonna
You're a
lose.
grown ass man because of how you act.
Yeah.
Act how? I beat y'all up? You act crazy. Yo, don't yell at me, bro. Or what? Talking to me like that.
Wait,
The disrespect's got to stop, stupid. Don't talk to me like that. Sit down on me.
All right, so maybe he felt like, I don't know. Dan, what do you think? My producer, Dan.
Definitely messy, but Cameron's here for the pettiness. What do you think?
I just hate to see, but it's always the people that know the most about you and that are closest to you that can be the ones that can hurt you the most on both sides. And so I think that's the part that's really difficult.
Did Cameron cross the line, though?
Yeah, of course. I don't think you should do that, like reaching out to somebody's son. Now, we also don't know if his intention was to try to get him to bash his father, or if he was like, you know, I want to sit down with you and do an interview. Who knows how that could have went. But the optics of it at this period in time don't look good, is what it is. All right, now, let's talk about 2 Chainz. Let's do something positive here. All right, 2 Chainz has announced he has a new spiritual memoir. It's called The Voice in Your Head is God. And he posted, my newest journey as an author. That voice in your head isn't madness. It's guidance. It's God. Every time you hear that quiet whisper, know it's a higher power speaking through you. 2 years ago, I listened to that voice and began writing. Today, I'm finally ready to share my very first book with you. This is more than a story. It's a piece of my journey. And pre-orders are now. So if you guys want to pre-order this book, you can, because that book is going to be coming out on March 3rd of 2026. I will read that. Now, 2 Chainz is somebody that I've known his journey from the beginning. Can I say Titty Boy? Because that used to be his name. Right. And so I followed his journey from back then, and I love to see like the way that he has evolved and become the person who he is today. But he's always been a good person. And so that's one thing I would say personally about 2 Chainz. All right, when we come back, we have Under the Radar. These are the stories that are not necessarily in the headlines. They're flying under the radar, but you need to know about them. Man, $1.8 billion Powerball jackpot. 2 tickets were sold. So they're going to have to split that. I would do it. It's way up.
This in the news that relates to you. These stories are flying under the radar.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and I'm here with my guy Dan, my producer. Let's get into these under the radar stories. So 2 tickets were sold for the $1.8 billion Powerball jackpot. One was in Missouri, one was in Texas. So, I mean, matching all the numbers. The jackpot, you can either get a lump sum cash with payment of $410.3 million or $893.5 million spread out over 30 annual payments.
What would you do?
I would likely do the annual payments.
I agree.
Because imagine like that's half of the money. And then who needs all of that at once? Now, some people will tell you can take that money and invest it and do this, but you actually get way more and then why do you need it all at once? I would rather, play the long game. All right. Now, The Conjuring Last Rites topped the weekend domestic box office, $83 million. They thought it was going to make about $50 million, but it's made $83 million. It's the best opening for the Conjuring franchise. So I got to see it. I'm so mad at myself. I've been so busy. I haven't had a chance to go to the movies. At some point, I am definitely going to see this movie. So,
would you say the Conjuring franchise is the best of all horror movies?
It depends on what type of horror movies you like. Now, I personally thought I think that it's great. I love it. It's not particularly as gory. Some people like gory horror films. Some people like zombies. I like it because they're based on true stories. And I love The Conjuring.
Your
I always
personal
talk about
favorite.
it. I mean, that's hard to say because I love horror movies so much. The Conjuring, but as far as a franchise, I would say, yeah, it's my favorite as far as a franchise.
I agree. I thought the first Conjuring was like the best scary movie ever.
I thought it was great. But I do think that true stories end up being scarier to me.
Yeah.
I also think it's time periods. Like growing up, Nightmare on Elm Street was so scary to me. Now when I look at it, it's different. But when Nightmare on Elm Street was out back then, that was everything to me. But obviously, as as we evolve and things get better camera-wise.
Would you say like the demonic scary movies are more scary for you versus like a Nightmare on Elm Street or a Freddy vs. Jason or something? Like,
Well, yeah, because it could be real.
Yeah.
Like these are real things that happen.
Or like
The Conjuring
Saw.
is true stories. Saw is a great franchise too. I'll never forget, just even talking to certain, I don't want to say his name, but he's been up here before, pastors who would tell you they've actually performed, these rituals
Exorcisms.
before your exorcisms. And so that's scary to me.
Crazy.
And at least I know what to do in case like somebody around me gets,
Yeah, leave.
You can't just leave.
Run.
All right. Well, that is your Under the Radar. Now we got the Way Up Mix at the top of the hour. Plus, we got a special guest joining us today, Sharesa Jackson. She is on Netflix for Love, Con, Revenge. She's one of the people featured, because it's not all women, who got conned by somebody who she loves. All right. We'll discuss with her, how did this happen? And we're talking about a figure up to $2 million allegedly, but she'll tell you the story. It's Way Up.
Just like to talk like they Angela Yee,
Man, she's spilling it all. This is Yee T. Way up.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and it's time for your Yee Tea. And we've been talking about Young Thug a whole lot in the interview that he did with Big Bank. Well, Gunna, in the meantime, has, as you know, been training. He's got his own run club now. I got to restart my run club. I feel guilty about that. But he also, during this run club, was talking about haters and how he deals with it. Here's what he said.
It is what it is. I can't sit in that space though. Damn, why he hate me? Why he like? I got more to do. Can't change how you feel or how you, if you mad or you hating on. I can't change that, and I ain't trying to, cause you probably don't even got a real reason why you hate me. You just probably going with whatever you think and not know me.
All right. In addition to that, Gunna was here at the VMAs. And he did the first ever halftime show for the VMAs. It was sponsored by Under Armour. And as part of that, he showed people how he works out. All right. So he's trending for a whole lot of reasons. Also because of what Young Thug had to say about him in his sit down with Big Bank. And here is what Young Thug had to say about not getting an explanation from Gunna about why he quote unquote snitched.
Gunna, you my brother. Why you ain't gave me an explanation? You know how to get in touch with me. My daddy put me in your group text. I tell my daddy, man, what the would you put me on text with it? Gunna didn't take advantage of that. Bruh, we fighting to say YSL is not a game. You take a plea and say duct tape is a game and it must end. You're a rat, bro. You did what wrong. You betrayed me.
So he feels betrayed. And it was hard for him to say that he felt hurt, because I think every time Big Bank was like, are you hurt? And he just couldn't really say that. I know he said this was a healing conversation for him. But he also talks about he does love Gunna, but he just can't forgive him.
I love you, bro. So you still love him? Bro, I poured so much into this. I can't even hate him, bro. In jail, I thought I hated him when he took the plea. I made him a millionaire. I bought his first apartment. I went half and half with you to buy your mama house. I just poured my all into him, bro. I gave this more time than my children, bro.
You really want to forgive, though?
No, I don't. I wish he did something lighter so I could forgive him. But I done cried many nights about this. That piece of paper you signed could have sent me to prison for the rest of my life.
Ooh, what do you think, Dan, as a Thug fan?
He's telling us how he feels. I mean, he's the only one that can really tell us that, right? What do you think?
Because I think part of the interview was trying to bring up some contradictory things,
right?
About people taking plea deals,
right.
But for some reason, Gunna's the person who you don't forgive, and he's explaining why and what the difference is. A lot of street code things that I don't know about, so I'm not even going to attempt to say who should feel a way about what. In addition to that, he talked about the fact that a lot of people were helping him out and sending him money and things like that, but Gunna was not one of them.
Savage sent money to Thug. Wham sent money to Thug. Pluto sent money to Thug. Cash sent money to Thug. Drake sent crazy bankroll to Thug. Gunna didn't send no bankroll to Thug. Gunna didn't pull up on Thug mama. Gunna didn't pull up on Thug family. Man, you ain't get out and do nothing to help me at all. I'm so silent. I still ain't never took $1 from him right now, and he signed to me.
So when somebody starts talking about themselves in third person, you know they are dead serious, number one. I don't know that Gunna felt like Thug wanted to speak to him, right? Because it feels like Gunna at first was going on tour and shouting him out, and it just wasn't moving or doing anything. So maybe he felt like it was best if I just leave you alone.
But Gunna could have even had it in his conscience to just try and say something. His dad gave Thug's dad gave Gunna the opportunity. He put him on text.
Right, and then he said, but I don't know what Thug said. I don't know what...
Thug was basically
the
like...
thing is, we don't know Gunna's side of the story, so it's hard to even gauge.
Right.
Yeah, if, you know, he was like, why would you put him on text with me? Then maybe I shouldn't say anything to you. If I think this man hates me, I just don't know. It's hard to say unless, and Gunna is not speaking about any of this. But with all of these leak calls that have been happening, one thing that everybody was trying to figure out is how did this happen? Well, here is what Young Thug had to say about how these leak calls did happen.
No matter what I would have got out of jail and did, it still would have came out. Just because it was public record. When the first few jail calls came out of me and my girl just talking and my team got in touch with the Cobb County people and stopped all of it. Like shut down the whole system. Now you can't go get none of that. So what they tell you? Somebody been had it. And they just waiting to release it.
So who knows what else is going to come out. But again, this was information that people could have accessed.
Right.
Somebody did, and clearly they stockpiled it. And when he got it all shut down so no one could access it anymore, things are still coming out. So he's saying they were holding on to it, waiting for the opportune time.
I wonder if we'll ever find out who.
I feel like there's no way we won't.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is your Yee tea. And when we come back, we have Ask Yee, 800-292-5150. Don't ask me nothing about snitching or street code. I don't know none of those things. You know, I've been hearing all about bologna sandwiches versus wings, which you get in the interrogation room based off of what kind of information you're giving. I'm learning things. Ask Yee is next.
Whether it's relationship or career advice, Angela's dropping facts. So you should know. This is Ask Yee.
What's up is Way Up with Angela Yee, and it's time for you guys to call up and get some help. Any question you have, I got you. 800-292-5150. KK, what is your question?
I don't know how to put this in a question, Angela.
Okay, tell me what happened.
I recently had a link up with one of my old classmates, right?
Mm-hmm.
My man now is incarcerated.
Okay.
So I linked up with this classmate, and we were chilling at first. And then, he leaned in and gave me a kiss, and we started making out. And then, now these feelings just, emerged again because we dated, over 5 years ago.
So you like someone else, but your man is locked out. When does he get home?
I don't know.
Wow.
He has court later this month.
And your ex, who you just hooked up with, he's aware of your situation?
Yes.
Okay, well, number one, don't tell your man who's locked up because you don't want him to have that added stress on him.
Yeah, that's clock it.
I think when guys are locked up, they already kind of think that you're going to do something, but I don't think they want to have to know and think about it. But is the real question that you might want to break up with your man who's locked up and get with your ex?
That's the part. I don't know, Angela, because I do have feelings for this old classmate.
What's your tie to your man who's locked up? Do y'all have a kid together? Are you guys...
Yes, 3.
You have 3 children together. Okay, so this is somebody you've been with for a while. Are you in love with him?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. It's conflicted.
Well, you have a month to see what's going to happen with him if he's coming home or not. You don't know what's going to happen with that. But you're never doing somebody a favor if you're not in love with them and you stay with them.
That's real.
Do you think your ex is talking to anybody while he's locked up?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, look, right now he's in a situation where you don't want to make him go crazy and lose his mind unless you know what you want to do. So you have some time to figure that out. And I don't think you never break up with somebody for somebody else. You break up with somebody because it's not working. You know, if it's not working with your man, then that's something that you need to handle separate from this and not jump into something new. But sometimes doing something like that makes us really think and reflect on what's going on with our situation, our current situation. So if that means you have to figure out, what's going on with me? What am I not in love with my man? Am I staying with him just because I feel guilty because he's locked up and we have kids together? And am I also feeling like I don't want to do this to him because that is true. Sometimes you feel bad. Somebody's locked up. You don't want to break up with them and feel like you're deserting someone at a time when they need you the most.
Exactly.
These are all things that you have to, I can't answer those questions for you, But right now, I think is a time for you to reflect. And I don't know him to know how you should move, but you just have to start thinking about that and really starting to be honest with yourself first before you can be honest with him, because you need to figure out, what does this signify?
I love this advice, Angela.
All right. Well, good.
I'm literally writing this down. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. Good luck.
You too, have a wonderful day, Angela.
You too.
Bye.
Well, thank you so much, KK, for calling up and talking to me today for Ask Yee, 800-292-5150. And when we come back, Sharesa Jackson is going to be joining us. If you've seen Netflix's series Love, Con, Revenge that just came out on Friday, she's featured on there. And she was allegedly duped by her own husband, conned out of almost $2 million. We'll talk about it when we come back. It's Way Up.
We about to do this. One of the most famous women in radio. We're talking about Angela Yee.
You're Way Up with Angela Yee.
Please believe that.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and what an honor to have Sharesa Jackson here with me today. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
You know, on Netflix right now, there's a series called Love, Con, Revenge, and your story is featured on that series.
Yes, it is.
This is a situation where you were conned out of almost $2 million, and nothing has happened to this man that, and do we have to say allegedly, or can we?
I mean, we could say allegedly, but the thing is,
you know what happened.
The truth is the
I'll
truth.
say allegedly. You can say this is what happened to me.
Right.
All right. So allegedly conned you, and you are a very intelligent woman, Fortune 500 company, best-selling author. You know, doing the right thing, helping your man out. So you thought at the time, you actually went to high school with him.
Right. Well, he was a senior when I was a freshman.
So how did he approach you on Facebook? Because you say you feel like you were targeted.
He reached out. He was just like, hey, I like to have lunch with you when I come down there. He's told me he was living in Georgia at the time. And then he put Dr. Wilkerson.
Okay, he's a doctor.
I actually went up there for a business trip.
Okay.
And I told him, hey, I'd be in town. You know, we can do lunch. And he picked me up in this very nice Bentley, took me to this 30th floor condo, changed, you know, and we went out.
All right, so now let's get to when things got more serious.
He decided that he wanted to be exclusive. He wanted to move to Florida. And I'm thinking, okay, you're in Atlanta, you're a successful doctor, you're in Emory. Now I can work from anywhere, you know, my company, I can be remote. So I'm thinking I'm going to be moving to Georgia if we're, you know, going to get married and be serious. No, he said he wanted to move to Florida. But I later found out that he was running from Georgia.
Oh, he had to leave.
So he had to leave. He was pushed out of Georgia.
Allegedly. Right now, I'm talking to Sharesa Jackson. She's featured on Netflix's Love, Con, Revenge, as she was conned out of almost $2 million from her ex-husband, allegedly. So were you posting him on social media?
No.
All right, so he moves.
He moves to Florida.
He moves to Florida.
I didn't post him until we got engaged.
And your daughters loved him. Though he was amazing and he was doing all the right things. And so he opened up a business when he got there because he was a quote unquote doctor, even though there's no record.
He's an epidemiologist that worked for the CDC.
Allegedly.
That traveled with the CDC. I mean, this dude has like recordings and videos of himself saying he went to Morehouse School of Medicine. Like, you're literally saying this stuff on social media. I pulled him up and he came up on LinkedIn and Google and different things, but he had made himself look so good. And then you're thinking, this person would not be all on social media saying these things about himself if it's not true, because you're not thinking like
you're not
a con
thinking somebody's
artist.
about to con me.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
and
not
somebody that went to your high school.
Right.
All right. So now fast forward, he wants to start a business and he convinces you to invest in his business.
Right.
All right. So tell me how that happened.
So we're getting married now. He wanted to acquire this business, this cosmetic surgery center. He needed a lot of money to invest it. Emptied out my 401k, did all of that, sold my home, put some of that towards that.
See, no,
everything.
Right. So he moved in with you.
Moved into my home.
Moved into your home. Was he investing money also into this business?
Yeah. So he had some money.
Some funds, okay.
I found out later that the funds that he had actually conned another woman prior to me, where he got all this money from that person.
So
and
that's
now
why
he has this money to kind of spend on me.
Now, this is alleged. Sharesa Jackson is here. That's why you hear me having to say allegedly a lot. But she is featured on Netflix's Love, Con, Revenge. Imagine falling in love with somebody, marrying them, and finding out they're a con artist. We have more with her when we come back. It's Way Up.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Let's go. Yeah. You are a media maven, right?
Ooh, you never know what Angie's gonna say.
What's up is Way Up with Angela Yee, and I am talking to Sharesa Jackson. You can watch Love Con Revenge on Netflix right now. Her story about being conned by her ex-boyfriend is on there. Tell me when you started realizing and when things started unraveling.
So people did reach out to me during the marriage, and I'm not going to say people because they would come on fake pages, but he was so good at just, I mean, like right now, you're portraying yourself as a pastor.
Right.
So, but
right
he was,
now,
right
the way,
now,
one more
as
time.
we speak,
right now,
as we speak, he is pastor.
Allegedly.
So he said, listen, a lot of women are going to be upset that we're getting married.
Right, because he was dating several women.
Right.
Allegedly.
So he set it up.
Yeah.
Like, dude was good. People going to be upset. They
laid down
probably
the
going to come
groundwork.
after you. They're going to say things that are not true. He made that very clear. So now I'm like, okay.
Has he ever changed his name?
No, same name.
Okay.
Like, he really feels like he's untouchable.
What did it take for you to finally be like,
I'm done?
Yeah.
Long story short, I had wrote a book, Successful Women Get Played Too.
Yeah.
So it was basically about my story. It kind of alerted certain people. And with the Netflix docuseries, I met Cecilia. I met the PI.
Cecilia from the Tinder Swindler.
Right, from the Tinder Swindler. Daily Mail did an article on it.
I saw the Daily Mail article.
So they saw it, and I'm just like, I don't know who this person is, and I just need clarification. So that's when Brianne came in, the PI. They went and did their investigating, and they brought so much back to me.
And you lost, now at first I saw it was 1.4 million, but so how much money would you estimate?
So what can be accounted for is about 1.4.
So they had to shut down the medical center.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was
and so all that money that you cashed out, invested in, gone. Right.
Lawsuits on top of lawsuits on top of lawsuits.
And you're named in those lawsuits too. Wow. Right now I'm talking to Sharesa Jackson. She's featured on Netflix's Love Con Revenge, as she was conned out of almost $2 million from her ex-husband, allegedly.
Yeah.
Is there a chance for him to still get arrested?
I hope so, because I'm not the only one that filed complaints against him. He actually committed bankruptcy fraud.
Allegedly.
He put in the bankruptcy that he was a medical doctor. They didn't catch that. Now,
is there a way for you to recuperate any of this? Or is that just over and done with?
Only through the legal system. I feel like the legal system literally let me down.
Have you been able to rebuild financially?
Yeah, it's been hard, but I'm trying. I'm rebuilding.
Has he said anything or reached out once he found out that this, because this is out right now on Netflix for people to be able to watch Love Con Revenge? Has he reached out or said anything or?
Not that I'm aware of. I know they gave him a right to reply.
Yeah, he has to have a right to do that, right?
He declined.
Of course he did. And what you went through, I mean, actually like married this man and thought, because it's also the loss of what you thought was going to be your life partner,
right?
And finding out somebody wasn't who you thought he was. They think that you just made a silly mistake in the name of love. Like you gave him access to this. You gave him the money. You invested the money.
Right.
He didn't steal it from you, but he was signing over lines of credit in your name and all kinds of things that you had nothing to do with.
Right.
So that's the fraudulent part.
Right.
Yes, you may have emptied out, sold your house and invested money into this company that didn't work and found out later that he wasn't a doctor, but he was doing way more than just that.
Yeah.
Allegedly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes they look at it like, well, you voluntarily gave this man.
But there's laws to this stuff. It's called theft by deception.
Do you want to see him in jail?
I do.
Okay.
I want justice served.
Well, Shareza, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you sharing your story and sharing your story with the world, because I know it's not easy, but I know it's necessary.
It's necessary.
And we appreciate you.
And I appreciate you for all the work that you're doing for women as well.
You can watch that full interview on my YouTube channel, Way Up with Yee. What a crazy story. You got to be careful. Even in love, you could be sleeping with the enemy. Well, when we come back, you guys, this is your show, so you have the last word.
Pick up the phone.
Tap in. Tap in and get your voice heard.
What the word is.
Here's the last word on Way Up with Angela Yee.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and happy Monday. And thank you again to Sharesa Jackson for joining us today. That is a horrifying story. Falling in love with somebody, getting married, thinking they're the one, they're your partner, and then discovering it was all a lie. And then watching him go on to con somebody else, allegedly. You can watch that full interview again on my YouTube channel, Way Up with Yee. You can also watch Love Con Revenge on Netflix right now. And thank you to the family for listening to the show today. We had a lot to talk about. A lot of it was revolving around Young Thug and his first ever, almost 3-hour sit-down interview with Big Bank. I feel at some point that Gunna should do an interview, but I don't know if he will. Because does he need to? He's just kind of been focused, looking straight ahead, doing his workouts, getting in shape, going on tours, selling out arenas, Maybe he just never talks about it. I don't know. But love to hear what you guys think. Again, this is your show, so you have the last word.
Man, look, I'm calling to report a secret. I ain't gonna say my name or whatever, but the person know what I'm talking about. I'm the one who stole your girlfriend in 2017 at Speedway on 159th in Kersey. You thought it was our other homie. Nah, that was me.
Yeah, I want you to shine a light on my daughter. She's a hard worker, having a hard time with her baby daddy. But girls can be players too. Thank you, love you. Calling from Jackson, Mississippi. Lady died.
Going way up, turn up with Angela Yee.